How do you begin to look at the darkest events of your life? How do you ever describe them? How do you find the words when there aren't the English verbs or nouns to describe what happened to you? How do you utter them and then coexist in a space where they have been said, where they hang in the air? How do you sit with your truth at the same time as not wanting to shock anyone, not wanting to accuse, not wanting to sound hopeless or bitter or unforgiving or dark? How do you hold these truths in the same container as a life which you desperately want to point to hope, to truth, to light? How then do you admit to events which are the polar opposite to these things? How do you let them out, let them be, let them exist? At first, you block them out entirely. These horrors cannot exist. They cannot have taken place. They cannot be the truth. You must be mad. You must be broken somewhere. You must have done something so badly wrong that these events lurk and pull you under and suck the joy from everything. Worse, you must be evil if you can live any semblance of a life in the aftermath of these things. How can there be life in the aftermath of these things? How can there be anything at all but silence? There is no way to speak of these things. Except there is your voice, which feels small and fragile and stuttering and uncertain and unable. It feels like you choke on the words as you try to say them. It feels like everyone in your life might turn their backs if you've uttered them. It feels like you might be activating some sort of inner self-destruct mode. But at the same time, you know that to not say them slowly poisons you. You aren't sure which option is worse. You didn't know you were pregnant. Not the first time. You were too young. You didn't associate the feelings and the symptoms with what you now know to be the growing of a life. Most of what you knew about life and death and birth is in the phrases that they taught you. Sometimes it is time to put one there. Sometimes it is time to take it away. You aren't a human. It isn't a human. No one is alive. No one is a person. No one has a say. You are a container for them to fill until it happens, until you provide for them, until you get it right. For you, forced sex with countless men is normal, routine, commonplace, but the choreography around these conception attempts is almost too much to bear. You can't escape. You can't even shut down your mind and do the thing you have been trained from birth to do. Generally, if you can make them come, it will be over. But it is never over when they need a pregnancy. There is nothing left of you, only what they need, only what they put there. And then it gets worse. You know what a pregnancy means, or rather, you know what it means when there is one of them there, when there is one inside, when a thing is there. You've seen it happen to others and they didn't survive. You know that life can be put there and then taken away in moments. You don't really have a clue how it works outside of these machinations. You don't have the language to talk of these events as they really are. All you can do is clutch at vague phrases which might infer what they did. And anyway, if you spoke out about this, your life would be over. That's what they told you. And you can't work out whether it would have been better to simply not have survived. Everything is horror in and after those events. Existing, even decades later, is a process of managing the invasive aftermath of those events. Every day you look at your life. You look at the aspects of your life that make it wonderful, beautiful, and you wonder how such beauty can exist alongside such cruelty. And you do okay, you get by. Sometimes you even thrive. Sometimes your dreams come true, but all of this takes place alongside the memory of those pregnancies and what happened to them. There are some clinical terms, but none of them fit what you experienced well. They all connote something that feels different. And maybe this is meant to make you feel like no one out there would understand events like these. You may otherwise be able to find solidarity in, oh, yeah, I had an abortion too. Or, I lost a baby as well. But you didn't have an abortion or a termination or a miscarriage or a loss. The terms don't fit. And anyone who had would surely they'd turn their face away from you in disgust if they knew the truth. You didn't know. When the doctor strapped stirrups around your confused and fuzzy limbs, you didn't know when he came at you with needles and wires and equipment. Apparatus that you try to describe, but it makes your brain spark out, sliding away on a station platform on an October Sunday. You pull yourself together and get on the train. Maybe don't talk about the process. But you want to explain why any gynecological process in the present feels impossible. You want to own up once and for all that your 2 adult live births were simultaneously beautiful and the most horrifying reminder. You want to admit to the confusion you feel when the midwife asked you if this was your first birth. It wasn't. The first time, there isn't an identifiable life in the product they tear from your reeling body. The shock is too much to bear and you shake even in this retelling. You're back there thrashing and screaming and all they do is laugh and talk about how soon can they fuck it again. You don't think you can ever get over that. The mess and the chaos, the sound, then with tubes and wires and it hurts. The unknowing. You don't understand what is happening, but you know you did bad. You messed up. You frantically try to work out what you did. You wonder if this is it. The time they said would come when they end your useless and pathetic life once and for all. Are you dying? The pain is unbearable. You write that aware that the phrase doesn't sum it up. Everyone covers themselves in the blood that they caused to be there and dances, cavorting, laughing, shouting and chanting. They want you to come. They won't stop touching. Your mind spins away, but they bring you back over and over. You can't do it. They are furious. Everything is lost. You stop for a moment to remind your younger self that you didn't do anything wrong. You get a sugary tea, a warm blanket. You touch a lavender pouch, breathing in its warm scent. You calm your breathing. This isn't happening now. This should never have happened. I'm sorry, little one. You try to sit with your howling sense of loss. You mattered. That pregnancy mattered. You and that baby matter. You deserved help and care and rescue. You don't have to be okay. No one could be okay. Take your time. You're allowed to tell. When you're ready, you begin again. You begin to try and find the words. In the later times, it was different. Less chaos, but more horror. Take your time and keep breathing. You were pregnant 4 times. Every time they did something, you don't know, the doctor coming at you with a needle, wires and electric juddering. There are too many gaps in your consciousness. It's always brutal. We fucked it into you. We're going to fuck it out of you. You didn't know it was there. You didn't know they would do it until you're there and the doctor is strapping you in. Sometimes he just does that to have sex with you. Sometimes he just wants to try something new. He likes it when your head goes away and he can bring you back. But sometimes it is the worst. Sometimes a thing is there and they will take it away. You're terrified. It is not a loud terror, but a cold and paralyzing chill. You know they could cut you open and remove the pregnancy. You've seen them do it. You know how that ends and the thought is too much. You cannot bear it. You know the things the doctor likes and you scramble to perform how you've learned, but you can't. Nothing is working as it should. Nothing is normal. Everything is white-hot agony. Your whole body locks into spasms and a pain you've never known before. Everything inside you is tearing itself away from you. They didn't cut you, but they could. They will use a knife on you if you fuck up. You can't keep track. You can't keep up. You can't work out whose hands are where and what is happening. Your mind is gone, but they jolt it back over and over. They spit in your face. They punch you in the stomach. They put their hands inside you and twist and tear. You can't stop it. You can't stop them. You can't stay. They use the electric on you over and over. You know it's over. When they eventually take it out of you, it is, you don't have the words for this. It is alive. It is pulsing and writhing and disgusting, but you want it. You hate it, but you want it. You try to reach for it, but your arms are held down fast. Everything happens in slow motion. The pain, they took it, they took him. Your mind is very far away now, but you see them take him. You see them hurt him. You see them destroy this thing that they took from you, this life they put there and then took away. You see them hurt him in ways you can't describe. They took him away. They hurt him. Then they give him to you. Once he is hurt, once he is gone, once he is nothing, once he cannot. You want it to be over, but it's never over. It can never be over. And they're still wild, still dancing and laughing and chanting. You want to block your ears, but you can't. You want to shut your eyes, but it isn't any better with your eyes shut. Your mind stutters. You can't manage it. They still aren't finished. So loud, too much. Please, no more. They took him. They hurt him. And they take him again, hurting him with the knife. At the end of it all, they eat him. They make you eat him. They put him in your mouth. Not him, not that. Your throat is closing in terror and you are gone now, but if you don't, they will finish you too. You can never swallow again. You can never... It is never, it is not, he is gone. They took him. You can say it. It's safe to say it. You're allowed to tell. When you're older, another time, they want you to hurt the baby they put there and removed too early. You're crazed with pain and fear, but you know what you're meant to do. It feels dangerous to call it a baby. It's safer to call it a thing, to believe the version of events in your mind that doesn't connect with it, that holds it at arm's bay. It's a girl this time. They have already hurt her in unspeakable ways. They have done unspeakable things. You can't write about it because it is too much. You can't think about it without seeing her face etched on your retinas. You can't say about the sounds. You can't find a word to say how much it hurts. Are you dying? Is it this time? She's too small. It was too soon. She is too hurt. They took her too soon. But you, handing you the special knife, the knife, you know what you're meant to do. So loud now, and everyone is chanting, and loud, everything is spinning. It's too loud, too hurt. You can't do it. You drop the knife. Everyone is angry. You can't. Gone. Blank. You don't remember what happened. Needles and black. Gone. She is gone, and you are in the dark place. No sound. Where did they take her? Try to find her, but nothing. Try to touch, but too hurt, too much. Into the black. They took her, shaking and can't stop shaking, can't move, can't see, can't speak, can't breathe. It feels like you were in there for days. There is no way to tell how long it is. You're shut in the dark place with no windows, no light. Blindfolded, gagged, tied. Everything hurts. You taste blood. They hurt you. She is gone and they hurt you. You might be dead. Are you dead? It hurts. When the fog clears, you know you failed. You know you are nothing. You know everything is ruined. Someone comes, something with a needle, touching. Please, not that. You are dead. You are dead. You are nothing. You failed. Everything fades. Everything is gone. The story ends there, but it also continues. It feels crass to end with the suggestion that there could be survival after this. There is no way to make any of this less awful, and nor should there be. And I don't know what telling the story means. I know it means the awful secrets are no longer locked away. I hope it responds somehow to the inner certainty that if I ever told, everyone who loves me would turn their faces away in disgust. And I hope it diffuses the ticking time bomb that tells me that if I say, they will find me and finish the job. And I would not survive that. There could be no surviving that. The only way to finish is to say that these things matter so much. These things deserve to be told, and at the same time, as heinous as they are, I am not defined by them. They are experiences that I lived through. They are experiences that I continue to work through and heal from, and that I will always work through. They are my story, but my story is not one of destruction and despair. My story is one where I live and love, and one where so many of my dreams have come true and are coming true in beautiful ways. The beautiful things coexist alongside the terrible things. Both are real. Both are true. Both are valid. And so I keep on. I love. I hope. I wanted to finish by addressing my younger self, my inner world, that scared kid. You did so good. You didn't fail or mess up. You scratched and fought and scrabbled and survived. Sometimes you hid and quivered and waited for a time when things would be different. Things are so different, and your bravery and your struggle help to make that happen. I love you. I'm so proud of you. I'm going back for you to every place where you still feel lost or held or trapped or imprisoned. You are worth it. You are precious. You are lovely. I love you. I am listening to you. You can tell it. And whether that telling is in shouting from the rooftops or in silent, shuddering grief, I am with you. We are with you. I am holding your hand in mine. We are walking out into the light together. In joy, in pain, in grief, in anger, in despair, in jubilance and militance, and in quivering terror, in love and in fear, but most of all, in hope.